Hello, everyone, and welcome to the audio commentary for Season 4 of Red vs. Blue. They're clapping for me, by the way. This is Bernie Burns.
I'm Jeff Ramsey.
As always, Gus Cirola.
This is Matt Hullum.
I'm Jason Saldana.
And I'm Dan Godwin.
I'm a caboose.
Nobody's gonna be Kathleen.
That was Kathleen imitating Caboose. That's what that was. So.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously that didn't go over very well.
And me imitating Kathleen is a visual joke. You're not gonna see.
We're gonna try a new experiment this time. After all the shit you guys have given me at every event for talking too much, I'm not gonna talk at all. So it's all on you at this point.
Good start.
Sorry now.
All right, cool. So this is the same intro as last year.
Man, we got lazy this year, didn't we?
No. This will. But we want to use it. We wanted to use the same one as last time because we want to have some consistency in the openings.
Also, it's good.
Yeah, I really like this opening.
And was totally hard to make.
Yeah. Can change everything every time. And plus, it's got like the Halo 1 roots too, you know? Because like the show started as Halo 1, the beginning of the show. I like that.
Listen to us justify not redoing it. That's good.
By the way, I'm not talking. So.
Oh, crybaby Griff.
And back at Blood Gulch.
Coagulation, as it were.
Oh, yeah. Everything's circular.
You know what the fun thing about this episode was when I watched this putting together for the big movie is I thought about the first time we really kind of saw it together was we saw it at Lincoln Center where we had a bunch of the fans out. That was that one where...
Name dropper.
Well, you should have waited because I was just about to say how CNN came out to the event. Do you remember that? Remember they interviewed like all the guys like that were out there? There's a couple kids came over from England to it as well. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a...
Yeah, what happened? What happened to that CNN interview?
That's a good question. Hurricane Katrina happened to that
thanks
CNN
a
interview.
lot.
Jesus.
Way to inconvenience Rooster teeth.
Speaking of which, I read today that the name Hurricane Katrina has been retired.
What does that mean?
There will never be another Hurricane Katrina.
Really?
They changed the K to Katia.
Yeah, that'll stop it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for that nugget of information, guys.
So they retired it like a sports star? Like, oh, that was awesome.
They also retired...
We retired your jersey.
Yeah, it's jerseys hanging out.
They also retired Rita.
Superdome.
Wow. Maybe you should work on retiring the bird flu, too. That should be their next big step.
I
That
think
killed 45 million people. Wow.
They're working on retiring cancer next, I think, is the big one.
We should probably stop that before it gets worse.
I was about to start getting into stats, like career stats for Katrina. That would be bad. That would be really
what's
bad.
the criteria you get? What level do you have to achieve to get the retired status?
So this is basically how we write an episode of Red vs. Blue right here. I mean, it's a good example. Like, you know, we're sitting here watching the series on the screen and not talking about it at all. And that's pretty much how we write the episode. It's like
We start writing out every episode, but with hurricane jokes.
no, it's like what happened last episode? Does it matter? I don't know. Let's just do whatever's funny.
It's constantly getting sidetracked and having something else come up.
Cool.
Way to fill in the gaps,
Yeah.
Jason.
Jason's our color
We
commentator.
need to cut and paste that.
You really stepped up to the plate that time, buddy.
Shut up.
I love the imitation of text you did here, Jason.
Thanks.
I want to say good job.
Thanks.
It's not as good as her
I
imitation.
really
of Caboose.
studied that for a long time to get into that role. Grew a beard and everything.
Wasn't there some problem with this episode
Is that
I
a
think it
jalapeno?
fixed later, where there was a Jeep? The Warthog kept randomly appearing behind Caboose.
Yeah, that on Zanzibar, that's the point where the Jeep respawns, the Warthog respawns, and so I think it's a shot of Caboose that's coming up. It's just the Caboose and Tucker shot where later in the episode suddenly it respawned and nobody noticed, so we had to
Did
go
it
back
actually
and
get
fix
fixed?
Yeah, it got fixed. Okay. I think it got fixed. We'll find out later. And the Reds had already taken off the Jeep, so we couldn't even have the excuse of, well, the Jeep was just there.
I remember the first time we watched this episode in a public venue was at Toronto, the CNE. Right, Jason? It's me, you, and Dan.
Yeah.
And who was the guy that came out from Bungie?
Oh, were you there with
That was
Nathan?
Ben Llama.
Yeah,
right?
Nathan.
Yeah. What was he doing out there?
cool.
Just hanging out?
He was just hanging out, yeah.
That's cool.
And we got to sit in together and have a little short talk after the episode.
When did we actually film this episode?
Actually, we got a lot of mileage out of this one at live events because we also showed this at PAX.
Yeah, we did.
So
Yeah.
we must have filmed
Same
it like
weekend,
in
wasn't it?
early
August?
That was the same
early
weekend.
August
Yeah.
of last year.
Did we
Early
show-
August
It's late
2005?
August.
So did we like show this at PAX and CNE and then like show up at Lincoln Center pretending it was the premiere, or did we do the premiere first?
No comment. We actually
No
the
comment.
Yeah.
Lincoln Center was a week before both of those events.
Okay, so we held it for like a week.
So
and then-
essentially, Matt was wrong.
Yeah.
So we gave CNN the exclusive that they never
What's
ever
up?
used,
Yeah, pretty much.
and then we took it off to different events.
I thought this was a great shot.
Yeah, it was okay. It was a first take. I remember that. I was surprised that we got it.
I don't believe you.
And we didn't rehearse it either because we wanted to make sure it was like the camera couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
You make saying we didn't rehearse sound like an unusual thing. That's pretty much par for the course, isn't it?
Well, we record our rehearsals just in case
All
we
right,
get it
to
right
record
by
the
accident.
Right.
This take is a rehearsal, unless it's good. It's going in. It's good.
I think most of the shots in season 4 were first takes, more for the fact that we just stopped caring than anything else, really.
Nice.
Come on, Jeff. That's not true.
You know what I noticed though in this episode is we used the weaponless posture a lot in the first few episodes, and then like got away from it as quickly as possible, just because it's kind of like that rigid herky jerky kind of thing. It's funny when Griff is howling at the moon, and when Church shows up and he's freaked out about being a ghost, but yeah, we got rid of it pretty fast.
Yes, we did.
We discovered 2 things.
I don't
In
know
this
why.
season.
Why do you still keep standing like that in the office, though?
I know, I can't help it because I'm always ready for action. Look at him there.
I'm always ready for action too.
It's basically the sword pose. That trick that we use is the sword pose, but without the
Without a sword in the
there.
hand.
The other thing we found in this season is that, Jeff, this is your thing you hated, was when people look down at a certain angle, there's that dead spot of movement of the head bobbing stuff.
Yeah.
Where you gotta like really knock the sensitivity way up on the controller. Otherwise, it's just kind of like this you can't even tell the guy's head is moving at all, which is kind of like our thing, moving the heads.
Yeah, how would you know they're talking? Just the audio to inform you.
There's a little trick right there. He's actually not in the gunner position to bob his head like that. He's
That's true.
standing behind the gun.
Couldn't do it without moving the gun.
Yeah. So we had to like frame it so that we had to hide him behind the shield there.
That's sneaky.
We're pretty brilliant. Yeah.
It's movie magic.
You know, every time I talk about something technical in one of these things, and there's like 4 technical things I could possibly talk about at this point, you guys always give me shit for being boring.
I was being serious. I think we're brilliant.
It was magical.
I was
Yeah,
just
I
thinking
don't-
we should actually add the gun as a character. I was thinking about it bobbing up and down and talking. We
Don't
got
laugh, we could do
Andy
it.
the bomb and Gary the computer.
Actually,
Sheila the tank. Might as well have the gun like old Blasty or something.
we could do the spinning. Like the spinning of the turret would be the talking.
That's when it gets like mad and frustrated.
And it starts
Spin.
spitting fire and bullets.
That could be a spin-off. We could do the
That's
Warhol
A
voice.
spin-off?
We could do
Oh!
High five, come on, dude.
High five.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you draw a line.
Hope somebody makes
that
an
make
animated
lame
GIF for that.
jokes. This scene was actually longer in the script. The hunt inside the Zanzibar for the alien.
It was?
Yeah, but it just seemed longer.
But the script sucked, or what happened?
Yeah, it was just long, kind of boring. I remember we were just talking about doing the spinning thing for different characters, like doing the spinning for if we wanted to make a character out of the chain gun on the Warthog. But like Andy, we tried a couple of different things to try to make him look more like he was talking, more than just like a still shot of him. Remember when we would cut the light, the pulsating light, to like match his dialogue, and it looked like Morse code when we finished. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So we
There's
just got
also
rid of
that Photoshop mouth I tried to put on him.
Yeah,
Good.
that wasn't very
And I
good.
think the vampire teeth were overboard.
it. We talked about doing a readout though, like a little waveform readout on him when he's talking, and Mac said F no.
Run! Hey, wait! Yeah, Caboose, we won! This is our victory lap! Hey, come back in! I think you're tiring them out! I'm telling you, it was here! It drove by while you were talking! You had your back turned, and it went zoom right behind you! Well, it really sounded like...
Suddenly got very quiet, didn't it?
Yeah, no.
I'm making a note here.
I thought
Oh,
the
okay.
director's commentary stopped. I don't know. I thought my DVD was broken.
No, I was making a note of something that I saw.
It's hard for any of us to
You'll
talk
never know what
when
it
we're not
was, but
interrupting
it was
someone else.
Yeah.
Usually
Number
without
He said that,
interrupting
yeah,
me.
okay.
Go ahead and say something.
So, I think is this the episode that Jeff and Jason directed? coming up
It was
later?
the episode with donuts moving around
This is
on
it,
the
isn't it?
ghost. Is it? There's 2 really bad shots in here that I did, so I can tell you. As soon as I
That
see
was
'em.
good. Why did we do that again? What
They
happened?
said
Bernie
was
didn't show up
out,
for work, and we
yeah.
didn't want to make the episode late, so you and I decided, Jason, you and I decided
Yeah,
to
we took
do it
action.
ourselves. And in about 8 hours, we did 2 minutes. I think.
Where was I?
You're
That's a good question. Maybe you can.
Chili
answer
eating
that.
contest.
Were we out of town or?
He was not out of town. He was supposed
Were
to be
you
in
in
the
New
office,
York?
and he just.
I think he was out of town.
That's one of the shots.
I
Matt
definitely
said
remember.
I zoomed in for no reason.
I thought it was when that lobbyist flew you out to play golf in Ireland or something.
What lobbyist would that be? For what lobby?
I don't fucking know. Hotel lobby.
The Guns for Kids lobby.
Talkaholics Anonymous.
We could have taken that alien out if I'd have hit him just a few more times. A few more times? How about one time? Well, I think I landed at least 2 or 3 shots. Yeah, right.
You didn't hit anything but the wall.
How the hell would you know? You were running straight backwards.
This is a long-range weapon, okay? I need distance to use it effectively.
Where were you planning on shooting him from? The fucking moon?
I do remember thinking that after we ended season 3, that we weren't going to be on Zanzibar for very long when we came back and started season 4, which I was disappointed about because I really like the look of Zanzibar. I think it's really cool. The episodes turn out really fun there. And then we
Plus,
ended
Matt
up-
hates Blood Gulch. Coagulation.
I do.
Admit it.
It's the first I've heard of it.
Always trying.
But I was glad. I was glad to see like so much of Zanzibar this season. I think it looks cool and it's fun to use. I didn't think we used it up in season 3 by any stretch. We ended up staying here longer than I think we had originally planned.
Well, we got here pretty quick because Zanzibar is like the Blood Gulch of Halo 2. Wouldn't you say, Gus?
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
I mean, it was even like when Bungie showed Halo 2, it was like their flagship map.
Right, it was like the first. They showed off with the multiplayer.
Yeah, and it had all the animation in the windmill and all the cool like deformable levels, like the bridge and stuff like that. And
It's a good map.
first map they made, you can tell. You know, it's like a lot more to it than some of the other maps.
That's you moving the ghost there, Jason. You did
Fuck
a
yeah.
fantastic job.
Were you running the cameraman there, Jeff?
I was the cameraman, yeah.
Okay, you zoomed in again.
Oh, this shot was fun.
That was okay, though. That was acceptable.
That was fun.
I think
too.
it's a good sequence. It
Yeah.
was like the only time we've used these gags with that animation in Halo 2. I think.
Whoever was driving the ghost there did a good job of backing up and not killing the other person standing there.
Yeah, we were good at it.
Yeah, that took some skill.
Was it you, Gus?
No,
Oh, okay.
so good job.
I also thought it was Gus when we
Oh.
first started talking.
No, I'm
No,
pretty-
come on. You know I don't work. I was probably out sunning myself.
No, I think
in the
what
front
happened
office.
that was the trip that Bernie and Gus took to New
Yeah.
York together.
But Bernie was in the office because he came in the office later that day.
That
No,
was, that was me.
No,
It was Matt, yeah.
Matt.
was me.
Yeah, I think we're out of town somewhere because I know I was.
The only place you and I went together was New York that one time.
Yeah, I went to go
Oh
talk
yeah,
to
yeah.
a
To that- to
so
those
and so
people.
about
about some
Certain
some
something or
things.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was stupid. It's not even worth secrecy.
Well, I hope they don't listen to this commentary and know what you're talking about.
Well,
They don't-
well,
they
no,
won't
Because
know
you're
what
going to
we're
make them
talking
feel
about.
bad.
I can tell you what letters the company starts and ends with though.
F you.
Fubu, that's who it was. It was Fubu.
It's pretty fast, Jason.
Fucking quick, dude. I haven't been drinking.
How rare.
Speaking of,
Rare for a commentary.
Now, here you'll see like a necessary thing that we had to go through, which is we kept the Reds out of Red Base when they first get back to coagulation, because you can see there in the background that Red Base is almost entirely, or it is entirely, covered in shadow. And so it was so dark to shoot either on top of the base, around the base, or in the base that we tried to keep them out in the middle of the canyon as much as possible.
But they were probably bored of the base by this time, right? I mean, they'd been stationed out there forever. No need to go back in there.
That's a fantastic line you drew
Yeah,
there,
it's
Matt.
That's
a nice
very good
green
line.
slug.
That's Matt's work. That's actually a joke from season 1. Like
what, that Matt works?
No.
Oh.
The perimeter joke is from season 1. We just had like held on to it like forever because there was never a place to use it. So
Well, it was certainly hard as hell to film. Getting Griff to walk in a circle like that was not easy.
Really?
You would think it would be simple, but it wasn't. It required all of my skill. Dexterity.
I'm
not very
glad
much.
that you didn't make skills plural there. All of your one skill.
Look, there's your body. you really didn't.
I like this shot. Come on, I forgot. I remember this one. That was an
push?
accident, I think, but it came out funny.
We used to push a couple times. We used to later when Simmons is knocking Griff around too.
You never get sick of making people ghosts, do you?
I swore I'd never do it again. Here, like first episode of the season, that's what I did.
And
I think that makes its way into every DVD
And this is the one he was out. He was out
I
of town.
swore I'd never do it again.
This is the one he was out of town for too.
Yeah.
Here's
Conveniently.
a couple goes in the script. See ya. And then he came back, and I think they were conveniently back to non-ghost at that point. They picked up their bodies somehow while he was out of town.
It's like when Bernie conveniently went out of town in '76 when we had to film with the
Please.
bomb and the skull.
Give me a break. Give me a break, dude. What are you talking about? I did that. The thing
no,
that always
Matt and I
happens
did that.
every time when I'm out of town, it's the same exact thing.
The hardest videos.
It's like here's a shot with Griff and Simmons walking across the screen, and you guys call me and go, "This is the hardest shot you could have." We can't do this.
Well,
But hey, when we
the
call you
reality
though,
is-
we're leaving a voicemail because you don't ever answer your phone.
It's true.
But
That's
actually,
why.
some of the hardest stuff is just walking, the straight line, hitting your mark.
So I guess the joke's
what you
on
say?
you, asshole.
Was that a joke?
No, coming in turning around and heading straight back out because they don't appear on the camera's view the same way that they do to the
And
animators.
and sometimes
Because when Matt
What'd you
shoots
say?
people walking on screen, the camera flies in from outer space, goes
As
through the
opposed
base,
to
shoots them, and then explodes.
as opposed to Halo 1. When do you say that was true?
Matt's
and,
As
and,
they're
Bernie,
entering
and
skull.
sometimes the hardest thing is just when we don't get to see your face every day.
Yeah.
That is the Jerry
That's
Bruckheimer
true.
of our apartment.
God, we hate him.
I should point out that wrench is not in the game.
Yes, you're correct. The crescent wrench is not in the game, but the skull is.
It's not downloadable content.
No.
You can't get that on.
And that's actually something we started doing this season is adding in elements. We've never done that before during the season. Like we've done some we've seen now 2 of them. We're about to see a 3rd one pretty soon. But we usually only did those in PSAs. But this season we actually tried to hold the PSAs till the end of the season so we'd have some content when we were between seasons. And so we actually started doing some of the insert stuff during the season.
I will call him Crunchbite. That's a stupid name.
I remember breaking the windows. Also something, hey, let's break the windows.
Oh, we're gonna
It
miss-
looks cooler. And then sure enough,
It looks cool.
we had to break the windows every time and break them in the right way.
So, introduction of the alien as someone they can sort of communicate with here in this scene.
It's kind of like a dog-like quality in this episode. I love it with like Caboose and his pet alien dog.
Yeah. Or the other way around.
And the voice of the alien is, I don't want to call it a voice or whatever, the honking of the alien is done by the same guy who does the bomb, Andy, who would then turn out to be the translator. That seemed like a natural fit to have the same guy do both voices. Although we all did auditions for the alien, and the most ridiculous thing that we have ever recorded, probably. Everyone trying to do honks and blargs.
That'll be on the DVD, right?
I think it is. I think
Yeah.
it is.
I don't think I auditioned for that.
Well, we can put you in there and make it like you did.
Yeah.
Or you're about to.
Fake it.
Cool.
You're gonna do it 6 months late.
Well, you are the voice of Shush.
Well, at this point, I think anyone who's listening to the commentary has probably already watched the
You don't
DVD.
know.
Yeah, let's watch the commentary first. You know, I do that sometimes. I'm gonna rent a bad movie that I don't want to know anyway, and just watch the commentary. Try to figure out what the movie's about based on the commentary.
You should watch the DVD that I'm going to give Jeff then.
Oh, I should?
I guess.
The commentary is awesome.
What movie is that? Oh, you don't have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
It's Red versus Blue, Season 3.
Get your copy today.
Did you say get your cocky?
Yeah, I did. That element was
The
in the background. That was part of the level, right? We didn't add something in there, did we?
Oh,
A little white sign behind Tucker?
I wasn't watching.
I don't see-
Oh, is it the? No, it's in the game.
Yeah.
And we gave the alien the needler because we couldn't think we would ever have a use for the needler.
And
at
also
any
because it
point
looks
in time.
awesome.
And it looks awesome, yeah. And it's like the most alien weapon. We'd used the plasma rifle as the voice card for Lopez in season 1. The plasma pistol is Doc's scanner.
Yep.
and also the detonator in season 2,
Yeah, plus the
season 3.
O'Malley's robot army at the end of season 3 also had all the plasma rifles.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And then so the Needler was a good one, and it was
It was an army of chip fixers.
I kind of wondered if
well, they're
we
robots.
have the,
they're masks. Come on.
now we have the impotency joke at the end of season 4.
They're
Kind
gonna
of
solder the
go
blues to
backwards
death?
and think, was the O'Malley army, were they actually shooting with the the plasma gun, or were they just like, firing impotency at people somehow?
Yeah, it's the impotency
What?
army.
The anti-Viagra gun or something.
Is Matt watching the same DVD we are?
Have you guys seen the last episode? Where he makes the he's talking about the plasma
I've
pistol
seen it.
versus
Yeah.
plasma rifle.
Right.
So I didn't want to be completely nerd and explain that. But Gus, if you'd like to explain it,
There were 2 different weapons, jackass.
They both start with plasma. Asshole.
so I think what does that leave for weapons? We've got the rocket launcher, the brute shot that we haven't used. Oh, we can use the rocket
We've
launcher.
used the
for
rocket
O'Malley.
launcher, yeah.
The brute shot,
Brute shot.
the carbine,
carbine.
and the
The-
Covenant sniper,
The Mangler.
The Mangler.
Right.
Mangler makes it in all the PSAs. though.
Mangler ST.
and of course the Sentinel beam, which we actually had to use as the
Camera.
for a while. But now that we
The
found
P
that
gun?
glitch,
The P
the
gun.
golden shower gun.
Also, the top hat that we just passed is not in the game. That's also not downloadable content.
That is in the game.
oh, is it the
Yeah.
top hat?
No,
Oh,
the
sorry.
top hat's in the game.
I like the
It's
monocle.
an
with the skull
unlockable.
hat.
It's a top hat skull. You find it on the new Mombasa level in single player. That's a joke, by the way. I'll probably get freaking tons of email about that.
Nerd.
Matt loves visual jokes. I mean, Matt loves visual jokes. So I think I actually wrote the formal wear competition of the contest just for you.
I don't know if that's true.
You do like visual jokes.
No, I'm the one that does them.
No, you like them. Shut
Well,
up.
why would you do them if you don't like them?
Because who else in the office is going to do them?
Oh, dude, he's got you.
I think he's saying that you
You
write the
assigned
visual
them to
jokes and
me.
then he makes them.
No, but you whenever you do stuff, you like to write in visual jokes. I mean, you tend to write in visual jokes, probably because you have the ability to add them in. So
I guess that's true.
You've got more ammunition.
It's either that or more talking.
Well, the endless talking is my department, I guess.
I hate when mom and dad fight.
I know. Let's go back to our room.
Let's go listen to the radio.
I'm looking at the questions for the season 4 commentary thread in the forum
Uh-huh.
on the website, and someone wants to know. I hope this question has been answered by now. Someone wants to know: will the commentary be scripted, or do you plan on just winging it?
Scripted.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
scripted.
In fact, the placement of that question was scripted as well. If I could be scripted, that he would ask that. So it's a level of control that you can't possibly understand.
That guy's a plant.
By season 4, we're pros at everything.
It's been scripted so far back, actually, that Bernie's the one who got his parents together.
Not funny.
Dude, that was close to being funny. You were right there on the cusp.
You're all right. You should go back to your room. Get
I would like to explain that before we leave Zanzibar, where Gary the computer is stationed, that I have a piece of sad news that Gary the computer and our network, which is named Gary, our router here, which you'll probably now Gus have to change now that I said that, but all our Gary computers that we have named that way are named for a cat, Gary the cat, who passed away 1 week ago. 1 week ago tomorrow, passed away.
That's sad.
It's a 20-year-old cat.
Wow.
Really sad.
Yeah. So
I've dated girls younger than that cat.
a moment for
Pour some out for
our
the
dead homie.
Yeah.
Gary the cat. So we have to change the name of
With
the
fewer
computer. That's
lives.
basically what I'm getting back to. For legal reasons,
You have,
how
Gus. You have gone and
we
you've
have to
gotten
change the name of the
pussy that's
computer.
younger.
Oh my god! All right, this will be edited.
Oh, really? Jeff and I were having a professional conversation.
What was going on back
in the
there?
foreground? What were you guys talking about back
How
there?
Gus has dated girls younger than that cat.
Oh, have you?
A better question is: Gus dated girls older than the cat?
Talk
Seriously,
about
though.
fancy feast. Yo.
Yeah, that'd be like the perfect cat. I mean, Gus wants everything to die at 20.
Wow.
I know. I definitely did.
Sad, Gus.
Yeah, not a good year since then.
You know, now that that Rooster has turned into an actual company where we have like health insurance and
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
You will,
gonna start smoking tomorrow now.
and
Yeah.
retirement plans.
What?
I asked Gus if he wants to take part in the retirement plan, and Gus said, "I don't need a retirement plan. I have a gun and 1 bullet. That's my retirement plan." So, Gus, this is actually not a commentary. This is an intervention.
Man, remember I told that joke at PAX last summer, and man, not one laugh out of the audience. It was really awkward.
It's very awkward, dude.
That's because everybody knows it's not a joke. You can try to disguise it all you want to.
Yeah. Even the girl who brought all the pens didn't laugh.
That was very sweet of her.
That was very sweet to bring all the different colored pens named after the characters. That was kind of interesting. We had a PAX where we first showed the first episode of season 4, or where we showed the first episode
It
of
might have
season
been
4.
second.
It could have been second by a
We
few
would actually have
hours,
to
yeah.
reference a clock to know, but that was our biggest Q&A. That was 1,700 people.
You know, I still have a picture of that, like a wide-angle photo of.
And every
the
single one
auditorium.
of them asked a question.
Yeah, it was fun though. I mean, that was an hour and a half Q&A. We didn't do any kind of presentation. We just showed the episode and then just had an hour and a half Q&A, and that was a lot of fun. It's on the PAX DVD, the PAX 2005 DVD.
Yep.
And PAX is the Penny Arcade Expo, and we hopefully will be invited every year, but we know we're definitely going in 2006. So if you're listening to this DVD sometime in 2006, you should stop by.
Yeah.
Hopefully before the end of August.
And if you're
That's
listening in
when it is.
2010, we're probably still going to go, and you can come laugh at us.
You're like, I remember you. Didn't you used to do that stuff? That'd be awesome.
I remember who you were.
We'll be playing Halo 8 in the console room. That's who we'll be.
You got any more questions from the kids, Matt?
You know, almost everybody wants to know about the ship at the end of the season, in the last episode,
Good timing.
and good timing. and what the baby's name is. I think it's just
Oh, wait. Oh!
most recent. You know.
Spoiler warning.
Do you have any questions about season 5 we can answer now?
Yeah. But let's see. Here's a good. Oh, are there any characters that we wanted to have in season 4 that we didn't have time for, like Max Kane in season 3?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, there's some character development stuff that got pushed to 5. Like one in particular got pushed.
Really?
You know, yes.
Boy, that
how
character
interesting.
development gets pushed every season, doesn't it?
What's that?
Someday it's going to happen, though.
Just like the punchlines. It's all one long joke. The last line of Red vs. Blue will be a funny punchline. That'll be all tied all together. You'll love it. In season 19 in Halo 8. See it at PAX 2010. I don't know, characters. We talked about... We're kind of out of colors. I mean, if you look at the point of season 4 writing-wise, the arc was to get to... the point was to get to the... Now, because that's... just held up a piece of paper asking me a secret question, which is a character that'll probably be in season 5.
Oh, really? I thought that got pushed out.
Yeah, we did introduce...
Let me see.
Technically, a lot of characters. We had Andy, who was kind of a new character, really. And... the alien was a character, the new, completely new character in this episode, or in this season. And then we had Vic Jr. is technically a new character, maybe not a new character.
The Skull made quite a few appearances.
And the top hat and the wrench. We're back, We went the old classics, the skull.
Season 5 is going to be all vaudeville, right?
Oh, vaudeville. What
We're
the...
back to the classics.
The smoking tank. We had a shot of the smoking tank right there. Jeff loved the smoking tank.
Yeah, that was also fun.
It required us to climb onto the back of the tank and hit it one time to get the smoking effect of the kind of old broken down Sheila. And I'd always take it one hit too far because B is the button to hit it and X is the button to get off, but I'm usually used to B being canceled just as, the way I think of things. And so I'd hit B to get off the tank and it would set it on fire is what it would do. The back end would be on fire. So Jeff would be real happy whenever I do that.
It'd mean an
Whenever you
extra
put his
30
back
minutes
end
of
on fire?
production every time.
Oh, let's shut the game down and start it back up
Yeah,
again.
that's fantastic.
Because the vehicles didn't, they wouldn't respawn in the one match. So
Well, let's go back to talking about you setting Jeff's back end on fire.
that's known as Friday.
Today's Friday.
Was it
Hey.
intentional when you added the wrench and the top hat? It just crossed my mind. It's basically a game of Monopoly we have in the game. If you would have added an iron in,
And a skull? Yeah, that's a pretty
Well,
nice
the
game of Monopoly. What kind of goth Monopoly game did you have growing up?
Monopoly 2010. The Armageddon.
You bought your own pieces at PAX, admit. One of the booth vendors. That's pretty close to one of the dead spots right there. Looking down at Andy.
Yeah.
Use those protocol parts and translate what this alien thing is saying.
So do you want to answer any of the other questions that Matt asked, or are we just going to ignore them for
No, let's
now?
ignore him.
Well, like
we
what?
could talk about them when they come up.
The
in
characters
an hour.
or the
Well, it's
Oh, the
just that,
ship?
that happens like right at the end, like talking about the
That
ship.
is true.
Matt can talk about the ship. Matt added the ship.
Are we gonna talk about it now?
Well, at the end.
You asked it now?
I feel I'm just bringing
how come I
stuff
feel
up.
like
I'm saying
a
these
punchline
are
to your
most
joke all
of
of a
the.
sudden?
Come up with
most of
something
the-
that's a little more timely then.
Well, there's like no
That's
time to
pretty
talk
much it.
about.
I'm saying it that the questions are
credits.
all from the last episode because everyone's just
Why
watched
don't you
the
go
last
through
episode.
and modify your
Here's
post
the-
and ask them if they can ask
See,
questions
this is
in
this
the
is
order that
exactly
Yeah,
a
that
typical day in the
actually happened.
office. It's like just everyone talking over each other, and someone goes, "Let's go to lunch."
I'm normally the one that says let's go to lunch.
No, Gus usually walks out the door and goes to lunch.
goes because nobody's
Okay,
leaving
someone
from
wants to know if we, as a production company, try to achieve a particular directing or cinematic style.
Let's go to lunch.
I don't think the word achieve has ever been issued in this office.
Or style.
Or style.
Wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you say we do, Matt?
I think try to keep it dry. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
Try
like
to
one,
keep it simple.
one of the things that like you always get criticized about is there's not enough action in the show, which is so funny to me because the first thing in the series, the first thing it said is. Church says is all they do is stand around and talk. I mean, it's like in the first episode, you know, it's like all they do is stand around and talk. And
So you're saying Church is criticizing it too?
exactly? Who's the first one to criticize? Everyone else is just
They're just jumping on the bandwagon.
We also get criticized for not enough plot development, too much plot development, not enough comedy, and too much comedy.
Too much comedy is funny.
Nobody's ever
too
talking.
much, too much
I was
comedy.
laughing.
The show's too funny. I can't watch it.
Yeah.
They used to be good, but then these guys got real funny.
Unless we're like, unless they
Sellouts.
think we're trying to be a drama, which is really frightening. We're like, your drama's kind of silly at times.
I'm having trouble taking the top hat seriously.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's. Or do we go for? I mean, do we pick specific shots? It's kind of hard not to because, especially in Halo 2, the camera is on a plane basically, and we can choose one of two planes to shoot on, either the low angle or the straight angle.
As you were saying that,
Yeah.
there was a shot that just went by that was the one of Donut. It was a big overhead
Oh, was it?
achieved after I guess the camera has died.
Save for a few shots where we can
Yeah.
do some tricks. Yeah, you know, there's like some stuff where we can get on like hills and get some different angles and stuff like that. But I mean, so we kind of have a lot of that by nature.
Yeah.
But you know, we work on other productions as well, and I think we kind of keep the same style across all of them. You know, I think we do. You know, we do lots of we do other machinima pieces and different games and stuff like that. So yeah, I think so.
The dick and
Try
fart
to.
joke's a dick and fart joke, right?
What dick and fart jokes do we do? God, I hate that dick and fart joke reference. Actually, we do a dick joke this episode or this season.
High five.
Have we ever done a fart joke ever?
Well, if Kathleen had her way.
Well, I mean, if the ad libs, we had Nathan in here doing Andy's outtake reel or his.
And he was very gassy in his outtakes.
He was like all his reactions. Like we added in like voiceover for his outtakes, so there was some funny stuff.
I really like Blue and Red Trader Simmons.
So do I.
So here's
He looks
I
very
thought he was
tall
one of the-
there.
Here's an example
He
of a
does.
shot we tried to
He
mess
looks-
with a
he
lot.
looks
Where there's-
statuesque.
Yeah.
there's layered stuff in the background. There's different levels and things like that. And you can just pick where you can do these shots. You know. Okay, look, lit up Sarge right there. Right, that's where we first started to discover the bug, or whatever you want to call it. I hate using the word bug. Sounds pejorative.
Will that actually be in the movie, or are we going to refilm it?
It's a good question. One that won't be answered.
I think even though you put out that instructional video, a lot of people still want to know more about that lighting bug.
Yeah, actually, when we get to the episode, like episode 72 or 73 is where we discovered it.
Lightning bugs?
And that's kind of
Lighting bugs.
that's kind of the process of this stuff too, right? Like we always find stuff out about the game halfway through a season, like some new thing. And that lighting thing was we kept kind of like seeing it all season, and I kept telling Jeff, and you're gonna argue this. I know you're gonna argue this.
I
But
disagree.
I kept saying there's a way to replicate this lighting thing that we're seeing, and let's do it. And you're like, dude, can we just make the episode?
And I agreed. I said I think that's a fantastic idea, and we should do it.
What have you ever said?
I
That's a
have to say
fantastic idea.
I was a naysayer about that because I do remember you bringing it up a lot.
I wasn't a
And
naysayer.
thinking-
I just wanted to get the episode done so we could put it
I'm
out.
saying
when we
I-
ran.
I'm
You
saying
were
I
a
was.
yaysayer.
I wasn't a yaysayer, but I thought the time to spend 7 hours trying to replicate it would be after we finished the episode, before we started the next one.
I just think it's.
When are we ever not working on an episode, though? I mean, it's like that's always taking
Monday
place.
through Friday at noon. I think.
If we if we pull out the Xboxes and we get the Xboxes going, we're making an episode, and you're like, can you please just make the episode? Wah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to give a product to the fans.
Oh, that's horrible. Should we give the
Oh.
best quality product to the fans?
What's
course
quality
not.
about
Of course
any
not,
this
Jeff.
product?
You should be hush your mouth. Shame on you. You're a horrible person.
But I remember I remember you bringing it up a lot, and I thought that's crazy. You're not gonna find. It's just a random glitch or bug or something, and you're not gonna find a way to repeat it. You're not gonna find a process for it. But I guess that's
He
like.
proved you wrong.
Hey,
Well, it's fascinating.
why
Bernie's
don't you be
directed so
quiet
many
while he's
episodes in
complimenting
Halo 2 and knows the game engine so well that it's like instinctually he knew how to figure it out.
And that, my friends, is why he gets to direct his own series, right? And seriously, when we sat down and tried to figure it out, how long did it take?
30 minutes, maybe.
Maybe 30, 40 minutes of just experimentation.
Like
And
three.
you know what I should have done? I should have recorded you because you were miserable the entire time. You're like, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. I said, that's it. We found it.
It's Jeff. He's always miserable.
Dude, I'm the happiest person ever.
One thing I always wonder about our audio commentaries, why do we play the movie? Because we never reference what's going on in
Yeah,
the
I
movie
wondered why you have the volume up on it at all. We're not listening to it.
during our audio commentary.
Instead of sitting down and doing a commentary, why don't we just put the mics in the office for one day and just take 3 hours of us being idiots and put that on?
Isn't that what
It's about
this
as
is?
relevant, yeah. Hey, where's that scotch?
Let's go to lunch.
Luckily, I thought ahead, and I made sure to get lunch before we started the commentary.
Good for you, dude. All right.
What'd you eat?
Congratulations.
I had, it was awesome, actually. I had
Oh my god.
a
Are we really
large-
talking about this?
a large bacon jalapeno cheeseburger, and I put ranch on it. It was delicious.
Gus weighs 85 pounds, by the way, and eats the worst food imaginable. Like Gus, I said, what did you get for lunch today? He said, I had a chocolate pie.
I think there's still some pie left if he wants.
He actually brought home leftovers from his chocolate pie lunch.
Now that you've eaten the jalapeno burger, I should mention that we're out of toilet paper in the office.
Oh.
That's fine. I'll go to the coffee shop downstairs.
There's no bathroom in that coffee
Yeah,
shop.
there is.
There will be.
The couch. Haven't you ever used it?
I eat nothing
Like
but
Andre the Giant.
I eat nothing but Slim Fast and chicken out of a can, and I weigh 3,000 pounds.
This was the season of baked sweet potatoes. For some reason, every day I would
And
come in the
smelly
office, there'd be a
eggs.
sweet potato in the oven.
You don't forget the hard-boiled eggs. Though.
Every week you have a new
Hard-boiled
contraption in the office to cook eggs.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Wait, do you see the garlic thing I'm ordering? Awesome.
Someone wants to know if we can all make fun of each other throughout the entire commentary.
Yeah, go figure.
That guy's a dumbass.
Say his name.
Dumbass 116.
Fun shot with the zooming stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
This, I have to give props to Gus. This is Gus's shining moment in the entire series. The manic red and blue Simmons not getting blue and red right. Gus had many, many fine readings in the audio closet this season.
I was gonna
Aw,
actually.
thanks.
I think we should nominate Gus for All
Oscar.
Star. For All Star.
All-star this season?
Uh-huh.
You know, I would.
What's wrong?
Please don't take this wrong, but I was going to nominate Jason, actually. I thought Jason did a fantastic job this season.
Thanks.
I really do.
I think
I did. I mean,
Okay, let's have a vote.
4
Let's have a vote.
episodes worth of moaning was really a challenge for me to do, but I did push a baby alien out of some hole in my body.
Not
Yeah,
necessarily.
but early on in the season, you were a superstar, man.
That's
With
speculation.
all your Bound Chicka Bow Wows. And,
Oh, that's
Yeah, but what
right,
has he done
dude.
for us lately?
what has
You know
Gus
what I'm
done for
saying?
us
Bow
lately?
wow.
Oh yeah.
We're just talking about Gus's one good episode.
Exactly.
I got your lunch.
That's true. You got. Wait.
Are you keeping a tally, Jason, by the way? Are you keeping a tally on how many times Tucker has been knocked out or incapacitated during
No,
the
I
series?
should. I can't remember. I got brain damage.
He can barely keep a tally on how many times he's been knocked up.
It's got to be like 8 times. How many times have you had this line, what
all
happened?
season. That's all. That's what I was for like 6 episodes. You guys would be doing lines. And I was like, do I need to do anything? And you're like, nope, got it from last episode. And I was like, all I did was moan last episode.
Yep.
It's awesome.
You should have made him re-record it every week.
Pretty soon we're just going to record syllables and like glue sentences together.
It's probably a good time to bring up the
Thank
fact
you
that your
for-
character didn't make it through
Through labor.
through labor. You're sadly to say
You know,
you're gonna be buried next to
Your baby's an
Sex in
orphan
church.
now.
There was actually, and I don't know what episode it was. Maybe we can remember as we get to it. But there was an episode this season where I wrote it, we recorded it, audio. Then I decided I didn't like a scene with Church and Tucker.
A long scene. It was about a minute and a half.
So what I did was I kept all Tucker's lines the same and completely changed the scene by writing Church's lines differently with Tucker's lines.
Do you remember why you didn't like it? Because I do.
Yeah, I do. It was too. It was.
It was too funny, wasn't it?
No, it was too
You wanna
lame.
get that?
It
You're
was,
too funny
It
to
was
get
just
into
too
it.
lame. It was a bunch of
It was
like.
sexist and racist, probably.
No, it wasn't sexist or racist. I guess potentially sexist, but it was just a bunch of. It was just. It was
a
just.
little racist.
I'm avoiding the word I want to use, which is immature, which seems stupid to say. It was too immature. That's like saying it's too funny of a comedy, but it really was. I just didn't like it. I mean, you respond to your own stuff, right? When you write something, you go back and read it and you respond to it.
Unfortunately.
I tell you what's fun for me is watching this stuff. Like you said, this seemed like 1,000 years ago when we shot the Griff getting sniped at stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, no recollection of doing that stuff.
Absolutely not.
In fact, I started to take our scripts at the end of the season. I started to take our scripts and send them to one of the moderators on our site, Demono, and Chris Marks. And I would send him the scripts before we'd shoot them, and I'd say, okay, I have reviewed this to the best of my knowledge and my notes for consistency and also replication jokes. We don't want to repeat jokes or anything like that. So I'd have him actually go through, and he would give me notes every week towards the end of the season based on it, like especially like speaking Spanish and stuff like that, like where Spanish was used in the series and stuff like that. So
That was a big help, actually.
yeah, so when we go back and watch some of this stuff, having not kind of remembering the first episodes of the season, I was really enjoying these first episodes.
No, absolutely. Yeah, my memory goes back about 2 episodes, and then it's like watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
Anything below that, yeah.
It's funny, man.
And it's weird because through the course of making an episode, we must, as we film it, we must watch it.
I think they have a
100
secret they'd like
times?
to share with the class.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you're
I'll
gonna
be brought
say-
enough for everybody.
Well, sorry. You guys should have been back here in the back of the bus.
There's no
Talking
fun
about
talking about
girls.
you behind your back if you're gonna listen.
Our commentary track now has a laugh track on it.
Ha ha ha.
So we'll get lunch.
That's my repetitive joke. That's still my repetitive joke.
No, we're watching your repetitive joke, actually.
Like every 3 months, Gus says something funny, and that was it.
It's on the commentary.
It's on the commentary. We finally have proof that Gus is funny.
Plus one thing.
Back to World of Warcraft.
And then it gets trumped.
I love the walking sideways entrance. I
It's
think
the
we should
best.
use that more. Like I saw it once on Zanzibar. You don't want to overuse it, but I just love that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
If you saw somebody do it in real life, they'd be like starting a tap dance or something.
You might be surprised to know this, but I can actually do the sideways moonwalk. You ever seen that before?
Let's see it. Let's see it. Do it.
I don't know that I've ever seen a
Do it.
sideways moonwalk.
I can do the sideways
Do it.
moonwalk. No,
Prove
Was
it.
that a Michael Jackson moonwalk? Did he do that? The
No.
sideways moonwalk?
no, it's from my break.
Isn't that like the old thing where you
Oh,
get down and
dude.
you like
It's the
put your hands on your
moonwalk,
knees and you go
W-O-K,
back
not
and forth?
W-A-L-K.
No,
That's
Like that old
a
20s
trademark.
dance?
No, that's like the Russian bebop or whatever you're talking
Your
about.
3 months.
That's awesome.
The
You
jitterbug?
got another 3 months, dude. So you might as well just sit.
Our commentary just broke down. No one's gonna hear any of that
Take
stuff.
your time.
Alright.
It's going to be a while before you're funny.
This is probably the only time I've ever gone back and reused a map for like it's really a different purpose. This is where, like when they got blasted off a Sidewinder, they ended up here in Burial Mounds, and this is to be like the melted version of Sidewinder, because the architecture was kind of the same. And now we went back and used it as like just a pass-through map for the quest as the Burning Plains because we could repurpose it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we did establish, it's still the same set. Like we said, they've been here before and things like that, but it's kind of hard to go back and reuse sets. Kind of like the weapons we talked about earlier. You got to be careful about what sets you use too. I just did an interview with Frankie over at Bungie.net, and I was talking about the sets we have in Season 5, how we're going to be using actually 5 different parts of different levels to make one big kind of like virtual set.
Yeah.
Like where it'll be different parts, so that'll be fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that.
But it's just different scenes, my friend. Don't worry. It's no different than when we had like a shot on Zanzibar and a shot on coagulation.
Yeah.
You just fill in.
What are you talking about? You have nothing to do with this.
What are we doing?
Exactly. That won't be hard. You guys will figure it out.
Yes.
I-
Yes, guys,
I-
please go back to your jokes of telling people why they shouldn't watch this.
I got some World of Warcraft to go play.
Yeah, I think the boat for Booty Bay is leaving, buddy.
Is it?
The one of the things we were gonna do was the a joke we didn't use. Talk about the character thing earlier, Matt.
Yeah.
There was a character development thing we were gonna do for Andy that we never did, and that was where he was gonna be Sheila's ex-boyfriend.
Oh man, I totally forgot about that.
I didn't want to
plot.
say that because I didn't know if that would ever come back up. But
Yep.
And there's a really interesting character trait that Andy has related to that, which I won't.
Which we may
here,
use.
because we may use it,
Yeah.
but it's tied into that.
Well, it describes it.
It comes-
explains
it
why
will come up.
Andy is so upset all the time.
Yes.
So. And then also in the game.
I can't believe
Andy,
we didn't use that because we talked about that like so long ago.
Yeah, yeah. And on the bottom of Andy, the bomb in the game, there's actually each one has a different message written on it.
yeah, I think there's 5 or 6 different messages.
Yeah, it's an Easter egg in the game, and we thought about referencing that too, using that. Like Andy had a tattoo, but just to you never seen like how do you see the bottom of the bomb? It was kind of tough and it'd been almost impossible to set up, so we just never used it.
Yeah, that sounded smarter before I said it. I bet. Speaking of operations, though, remember how I told you I wanted to incorporate more positive reinforcement techniques in review sessions?
Donut, for the last time. Me calling you a worthless turd is not a review session.
And remember how you said any proposals had to be submitted in handwritten triplicate with no less than 100 pages?
So, any other good questions in the thread there, Matt?
I've got a good question. Are we really out of toilet paper?
Yeah, we're really out of toilet paper.
This is one of those things. Jeff, you and I just reshot some of this
Hopefully
stuff.
not.
We reshot some of these donut shots for the DVD itself. You can see probably the very last shot of donut. You'll be able to see it's maybe slightly differently framed, slightly. But it's amazing how we can go back and in that 3D space, go back and find those exact positions again.
Well, you know what was fun going back and finding was last season, finding the exact way to throw that grenade during the flashback in episode 50.
Yeah, that was tough, man. We didn't get it right.
I thought we
We
did.
got it pretty close.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It took a long time though.
You guys want to talk about any other season 2 or 3 stuff?
No, we're good.
We're going backwards there.
What's that?
We're talking about something from season 3. That is probably the reframe shot right there. Yeah,
That was
the
it. Yep.
reframe shot. Tell the headroom was slightly different, but hopefully that doesn't ruin the experience for you.
They would have never
Apparently,
noticed.
Blood Gulch Outpost Alpha is actually Blood Gulch Outpost 12, according to their flag there. Do you know what the numbers on the flags mean?
No.
Oh.
Do you?
Me? No, I got no idea.
Oh, I thought you were about to explain it. I was
Oh, yes. 12 is the number of people that have died at that outpost.
So they named the outpost after the number of people that are dead?
Yes. They have to update the flags all the time.
That kind of makes sense, I guess.
Actually, Hurricane XII came through and they retired its jersey there on the side of the base.
So they make it into the Hall of Fame?
You can visit it in Cooperstown.
It's pretty smart, Bernie, for you to have written scenes for the red team actually taking place at Blue Base. Because I know a lot of the filming stuff we had before we found the glitch was just figuring out how we were going to shoot stuff at Red Base.
Yeah.
Not being complete shadow.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question, Matt? Is it Kiss Bernie's ass day for you, or how's that working out?
Friday.
I guess that's true.
Complimenting
Is it payday or?
complimenting the series is not necessarily kissing my ass, although it doesn't hurt. See, this is all dark in here too, and it's always like, do we change what was in the episode, right? Or this shot would actually be impossible to glitch.
Can't do
so
it, yeah.
we can't change this shot. But should we? Do we go back and change other shots? And what we do is we just go back and clean up ones that are shocking when they hit. You know what I mean? Like in this scene in particular, if we did the lighting trick here, it would actually be shocking to watch Sarge lit and not have Simmons lit.
Yeah.
So we go back and fix stuff that's jarring, and then kind of leave everything else true to the way it was released online. Kind of the fun of machinima, right? Is that it's always progression of finding new ways to do things. Especially at the end of this episode, doing the ship stuff that Matt did.
Yes.
Hey Matt, do you want me to punch Jeff for you?
What's that?
Oh look, no. Here's a scene where Bernie did a thing that was really awesome, and I was like, man, Bernie's a great director. And this is really fantastic. Look at the skill. Good job, Bernie.
Oh, I do love that gravity lift, man.
Gravity lift is good times.
What the? Who hit me?
Hurry, quick, before he wakes up. Help me get this guy in the hole. We have a hole? Let's kick ass. All right.
Was that another reason not to shoot in red base earlier, so we wouldn't reveal that the Griff had already seen the gravity lift? Or am I just presupposing that was the case?
No, just predisposing. You're presupposing that.
Here's a great set.
Oh yeah, this is Backwash, the Backwash level, which is one of the new maps added to Halo 2.
Was this the first new map that we used?
Yes.
Was it?
Well, it's the first new map we used in the series. We actually did a set of... We did the map episode, which was a special video we made for Bungie, which used like turf and all that stuff.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun to film in. It was very atmospheric. However, there's a gun every 3 feet on this map.
And you can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see any of the guns, which is a big problem for us because we utilize a glitch in the game that allows you to drop your weapon, but if you step on a weapon, you automatically pick it up. Or a bomb, or anything, you know, a flag, you name it, you pick it up, a skull, so... I love the fireflies here. Next shot.
That's brilliant direction.
I love them, they're cool,
One of
man.
the things I like about Bernie is how brilliant he is when he directs.
That was really visionary. I
Yeah,
felt,
and the way he uses assets from the game, like repurposes them to
to overcome challenges.
The scene where Griffin
Yes.
Simmons dies is fucking awesome. Wait till you see that. You're gonna love it. It's heart-wrenching.
We're just trying to make you love us as much as you love Matt.
That's right.
That's it. We're so envious.
I love this. I love the fog stuff on this level so much. Dude, that alien jumping on people and killing them all the time was... That was some fun shots.
Yep.
Right? See, this is a level where you wouldn't want to do the lighting trick because the dark works really well.
That's a very good point.
And the lighting trick, okay, let's probably explain it because we've talked about it enough. What the lighting trick is that in some of the darker levels like this, there's usually a lighted area somewhere in the map. Like in Blood Gulch, the middle of the canyon is lit, and the bases inside the bases are dark. So what you can do is you can kind of trick the game engine by the cameraman looks at a person in the lighted area, and it shows them as fully lit. And if the camera doesn't look at them as they cross over into the darker areas of the map, and they hold still, then the camera can go into the darker area of the map, look at them in the darker area of the map, and they will remain as they were lit out in the light area until that character moves. The cameraman can move, the character can nod its head up and down, the character can turn, but as soon as they walk, the lighting is applied.
They can move very slowly backwards, and I think the cameraman can nudge them to a degree.
Yeah, and if they jump, it instantaneously changes them. We know that. So they can even duck.
They can duck.
So it's very useful for what we do. It's a fun shot. This actually is inside the grav lift shooting out. Somehow we got inside the grav lift without like fully grabbing us and lifting us up, and so we were able to take that shot from inside. That was a hard shot, getting Sarge to
It was
drop
a very
in.
hard shot, yeah. A lot of takes.
Sarge doesn't drop easy.
Nope.
I think Jason has left to go to the store.
To get toilet paper?
Wasn't that his car door?
Did he really go?
Closing just now?
I guess he had more pressing matters to attend to.
I'll fill in for Jason while he's gone. Bow chicka bow wow. Thank you. I'm done for the entire season. Moan.
Oh.
What happened? Yeah, I mean, it is really tempting sometimes when writing these episodes to like write like signature lines. You know, like I mean, like because people tend to say the same things over and over again anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like the way we write this stuff is kind of write the scenarios now, and the characters are so familiar to us that the characters kind of like almost like write their own dialogue. Really, I mean, it's like if we have a scene, we say, okay, let's throw Sarge and Donut in it. You can kind of like just the natural flow. What one would say would lead into what the other one says, and so it becomes fun sometimes. Like you don't want to reuse the same lines over and over again, but it's nice to make little nods to them now and then. Like Tucker getting knocked out, always waking up wondering what happened.
Knocked out and knocked up.
My mittens. We have to go back.
Caboose, we've been walking for days. We're not going back for anything.
Suggestions, Andy?
I say we let Tucker storm in and take him out in a mad rush. And while he's got him distracted, we finish the quest.
On second thought,
I never realized Tex was so much shorter than Caboose.
You know, I try to do that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I think.
I was being sarcastic, but yeah.
Oh, you were? Okay.
And I actually, when we get into a scene like we're in hills, and one character is taller than another, and I don't think of that character as being taller, it actually bothers me. Like,
Yeah.
and I have to fix that shot. And I guess I apply our actual heights as people to the characters. Like if Tucker looks taller than Church on the screen,
It's a problem.
it seems weird to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like if Simmons is not as tall as Griff, it seems weird to me. Although in the shoot it fast because they're gonna disappear. Those dead bodies, man, they disappear faster than just about anything else.
We just went through that yesterday. We were reshooting something. I had a lot of trouble with that.
The
Oh,
scene
it's coming up.
It's
coming
here.
up right here. Yeah. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, it's the end of the scene. It's a ways away. So when Simmons steps forward and knocks Sarge out, we had to reshoot the scene.
Had to reshoot it because we left that scene went into the black on the episode.
Yeah.
And one of the things we have to do on a DVD is we like to carry jokes into the black because
It's less filming.
it's less filming. Yeah. But
So when we go to the DVD,
yeah,
you
sorry.
okay?
You gave me a really weird look.
I didn't give you a weird look.
You did.
Hey,
It's his normal look. What are you trying to
maybe
say?
this is our moment right now.
Kiss. There were butterflies on the screen.
Was it the you stop talking for no reason look? Because that's the look I meant to give you.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. I
Well,
do remember that
when we do
the scotch is right here though.
when we do the jokes in the black for the episodes we release online,
we have to go back and refilm.
we have to go back in and film
or cut it, but we try to refilm everything we can. Some stuff
Yeah.
doesn't work. Some stuff has to be cut.
Well, I mean, some stuff you want to go back and refilm. Some stuff is a minute long, and you don't
Yeah.
want to have like a 1 minute joke as part of a hour and 40-minute movie. So, I mean, that's kind of long. That's
I
like
agree.
14%, I think. I'm not sure my math there, but 1 into 14 goes, Gus? 14 times.
14%.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
14 times for 14%. This is hard, but not remarkably hard, this scene.
no, you always think that the scenes with a lot of characters are going to be difficult, but they end up being a lot easier than.
It did take a while though.
It did take. There's a lot of setup.
There's a lot of setup. Yeah, I think it was only like 2 or 3 takes.
Another great Gus performance is the beat up grunt.
Yeah.
Hiya, fellas. Who's next?
Charge!
Yeah, heaven forbid we get
I'm
too
always,
immature.
what I miss. I'm always very proud of the hand grenade noise that we have, the fuzzy hand grenade noise, because that was me making the psst noise like 3
Right.
years ago when it first landed on text.
This is some of the most action we've ever done in the series. It turned out really well. We got to use the dual wielding for the first time.
Yeah, I think that was the first dual wielding. Yeah, I don't think we've ever used it since. It just
No.
seemed natural to have Tex be the dual wielder.
She looks good.
Yep.
It suits
Okay,
her.
this is lit. This is an
lit.
example of the lighting thing.
This was lit by accident.
However, this is where we totally had the scene lit by accident. In fact, when we go to the wide shot, you'll see the donut is not lit. And
Yeah.
this is the scene in particular that said, okay, there's got to be a way to replicate this. And I remember there's donut not lit.
No, that's looks like Doc.
That's no.
It looks like Doc because donuts all it.
He's trying to be funny and he's just confusing. So.
God, I'm not the only unfunny one today.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Drink more scotch.
Okay.
Tucker's also unfunny.
Is that good scotch?
Good stuff.
You know what I do like? I do like that the tank now has tow hooks on the front of it as well. Have you all noticed that? A little,
yeah.
little hook there?
I like that too.
Sheila's headlight doesn't light up anymore though.
Nope,
too.
the headlight does not light up anymore. Yeah. There's always little stuff in the different multiplayer stuff for scaling issues. Like shadows disappearing, you know. We discovered that the light in blue base, like in the hallways, the red and blue lights in the bases, they appear. They like fade in as you get closer to them.
We discovered that in episode 77.
Yeah, we saw the very last episode.
Weird.
It's funny though. I mean, we've been in Halo 2 pretty much like 30, 40 hours a week since it came out, and we still find new stuff all the time. I mean, you like watch from the middle of season 3 on, and you can just watch the progression of stuff that we discover. Like when we discovered the HUD-less display, when we discovered the lighting effect, when we discovered the drop the weapon stuff.
I don't know if that's a testament to how, I guess, like robust the architecture and the geography of the game is,
Or how dense we are.
Yeah, or how dense we are.
Yeah, well, I was pretty happy. Like, I couldn't find any documentation on that lighting thing when I went out there to look. And Halo's probably one of the most documented games in the history of the world. So, it's amazing stuff you can find. Of course, there's people out there that discover stuff about Halo all the time that just, we have no practical application for.
Yeah.
You just kept saying, there it is, there it is.
I thought you said there was no reward.
And we do get recommendations in email all the time. Like, the bug that we knew, not the bug, the thing that we knew from the very first day was the fact that you could hit down on the D-pad and drop the gun. But somebody else discovered a totally different way to do that. It was much harder where you run out of ammo and you pull the left trigger and keep pulling the left trigger, and that works. So it's even something that's known, they found a new way to go about doing it.
We also get emails to this day from people that say, I don't know if you know this, but if you hold down on the D-pad and drop the gun, this might help in Red vs. Blue.
A lot of shots with the Banshee turned out framed, like the framing worked out pretty well. And these were like second, third take, with the Banshee flying around.
Yeah.
Because the flying of the Banshee has to be done in third person. You gotta fly that thing, and it's not, I can't fly that thing in a game,
But you are the one that flew it in all those shots.
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
It worked out pretty well. And I am lousy with that thing in the game, dude. I am lousy with it. There's also a shot I liked a little while back with Caboose looking up at it, and he's framed all the way down at the bottom.
Yeah.
There's a couple times with the framing, we did some weird framing, like later on when Andy scares O'Malley, we did that like diminutive framing where he's at the very bottom of the frame.
It's artistic.
Yeah. These high shots, too, on the blues are so strange because it's like so glowy. It's almost like they're in some kind of like on the clouds or something like that.
What do you think about that, Jason?
About what?
Yeah.
Boy, I'm glad I'm not talking. That joke right there with the grunts, with the Reveille playing, that's a very serial joke. That's like, we kind of expect that people have watched the episodes in the series. That's a joke that references all the way back to episode 39. Like, that you would have to know that Reveille noise means that all the grunts are coming back to life. And so it's kind of like, I always wonder when we write those jokes, should we write that serial of a joke, or should we just kind of accept the fact that the audience is probably the audience that was watching at episode 39?
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Well, no, you know what I mean? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, new people watch the series all the time, and I hope they're taking the effort to go back and watch, the first, 76 episodes.
The first 7 hours of the series.
Yeah. But, oh, here's where was this, what was Vic come, where did he come from?
Where did Vic come from
Halo
originally?
PC?
Halo. This one came from Halo PC. Yeah, we updated it a little bit. I guess the original version Randall made, right?
Yeah, the original one was Randall made for Warhog Revisited, which is another Halo machinima piece.
That predates us.
And this one,
Not Warhog Revisited, but Warhog Jump
Warhog
does.
Jump does.
Yeah.
this one actually, I don't know how he did it. I'm guessing it was the same way that we did it for this, which is Vic is actually taken out of the original introduction scene with Master Chief when he first gets out of the cryotube and you're first learning how to use your weapon and aim and stuff like that. The character you made there, that's where Vic is, and we just cut him out and composited him into that that ship setting, because there is actually like another character in that ship setting that looks like Vic, but the lighting's really bad. We're not bad, dark. So we took him from the other thing, composited him in there, and then like match moved him so he'd be still and keep his lips talking.
We're at war. If we're gonna win this thing, we need to work together. We need to put aside our disgusting lazy...
And watching this, I'm wondering if I should say that here's an example of a dark scene that we want to reshoot, or we've already reshot it, or we just left it the original.
I actually think that
We'll edit that later.
I actually think this scenes inside the base, particularly with the grab lift there, kind of work nicely dark. Especially the shot on Sarge.
Yeah. Griff looks a little dark though. I love Tough Donut. I always love like all business donut.
He's like the cop from the village people.
We need to come with a name for that persona. The all business donut.
You helped the Blues. And fooled them. You knocked Sarge out. Twice. Once again, Donut, to fool the Blues. And to work out some unresolved issues with father figures. But look, just go ask Sarge. He knows it's me. Hell, even Griff knows it's me.
Oh, sure. Everyone knows who you are but me.
No, the Blues don't know either.
Hey Sheila, where'd that Simmons guy go that was spying on us?
I have been deemed a danger by the Homeland Security Office. I am on the terrorist watch list. We do a lot of traveling for like events and stuff like that, and I'm like,
Public enemy number one.
I guess so, because I'm on this watch list, this Homeland Security watch list, and it takes me like 3 hours to get on a plane. Like I have to prove that I'm me, and you know that I'm not a mean person. I don't want to make jokes now because I'm afraid it would get heard, and then I'd be on the watch list forever.
You are a mean person, though.
We actually thought it was Jason that got me on that list, but
It wasn't.
He was the first one to get on the list.
I
though.
don't think so.
But he got off of it immediately. I guess somebody at Homeland Security doesn't like red versus blue.
Yeah, go figure.
It's too funny.
Who is that? Chertoff?
They're Time Splitter fans.
But sir, I only did that because no one would believe me about the tank.
Sarge, Simmons has issues with his father that he displaces on you.
No, donut. That's why I punched Sarge in the face. I left the base because I wasn't fulfilling my undying need to please other people.
All right, enough. The next person who tells me about Simmons' feelings is getting court-martialed.
Simmons likes to go in the bathroom and cry while he punches the mirror. Well, I'll go pack my bags. Nice working with you guys. Good luck with the Blues. What episode are we at this point?
Well, it's like 75, I would say.
Is that right?
No.
Moving too fast.
No, it's 72. I know for a fact it's 72.
Okay.
I should say I know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure it's 72. Notice the presence of the vehicles that Church has so expertly collected from the canyon.
That was convenient.
Well, they were in their original starting positions in that shot, but that's why they have that starting position game is because that's where Church parked them.
Oh,
Okay, well that makes sense.
See?
Yeah.
Now you see. Haha, see?
Have we
Yes,
passed?
we see.
Have we passed by the
See, we do.
cutscene yet
What's wrong with you?
with Sheila?
What's that?
Have we passed over the cutscene yet with Sheila?
Is C his new challenge?
Yeah, we did. Where did we cut the scene with Sheila?
We cut the scene with Sheila from episode 72.
The Sheen with Sela.
The scene with Sheila was like the first minute of episode 72.
You'll have to excuse him. He's been getting shot.
And let's go into deleted scenes.
Yeah, we had a scene where when we make the episodes, if the world worked perfectly, we would end every episode on a red scene and begin on a blue scene, or vice versa. And so that we could just take the episodes and glue them together. But there was a couple episodes, one episode in particular that came up against another where it ended with Church talking to Sheila, and then it began with Church talking to Sheila in like a totally different place. And so we ended up having to cut that second scene. I'm sounding like you now. That second scene with Sheila and Church talking, where they were talking about all the vehicles that Church had collected, and so we had to move it out of the actual movie and move it into deleted scenes.
Because the alternative would have been to film a red scene, which would have been work, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, we put that in deleted scenes because we were shooting scenes that we deleted.
There you go.
And in particular, it was that scene there where Simmons is standing on the ramp, and we would go back and have another scene in between Simmons talking on the ramp. There was no way to include an extra scene in there.
Yeah.
So we would have liked to have filmed an extra scene, but there was no way to do it.
Hey, Tucker, you okay? Oh, why don't you guys come in here? Because it might be contagious, and because we got to think about the health of...
Hey, Matt, got a question from the forums?
Let me see. No.
All right.
Nobody's
Tell
asking
him-
anything good or what?
Tell him to ask better questions.
You know, this thread's a little
It's kind of sad.
it's a little lackluster. to
Someone's
be honest.
question on there was, "Are you done yet?"
Are you done yet?
Man, they already have their
They're
expectations
already
set high.
bored.
It's been mentioned to make sure Gus does not bitch about the train constantly. We're sick of that. And but also have Jason talk about throwing fruit at the train.
I did throw fruit at a train, but I hurt myself, so I won't be doing that again.
What'd you throw at the train?
A mango. Gus hates
It was
mangoes. It
that
should've
old
been-
mango, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really
This is
old.
where we first discovered how to do the lighting trick. This
Yes,
is
it is.
it. This is the first shot. In fact, we discovered it after we shot these scenes, and I made sure we went back and reshot them.
And I was like, hell yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, you were. You were really excited. Now, you see, look at this. I mean, look at the colors here. They're
It's
like,
so much better. I'm so happy.
shut up, dude.
Isn't he an excellent director?
See?
Oh my god, dude. He's a visionary. Look at that composition.
I don't even know what that word means. Really?
I can't even spell that word. I would look it up online, but I don't know how to spell it.
Now here's something no one else in the entire world would care about but us. What's the main problem with coagulation? With particularly with the weapon set?
I hate tests. But I can tell you, I know what you're going to say. Are you talking about like different gun sets?
Yes.
Yeah. It's hard to get the SMG in coagulation.
It is hard to get, well, especially because we
need the...
Yeah, we need to start with plasma pistols to do the oddball trick. So it's hard for us to start with a plasma pistol, not with an SMG, and get an SMG on coagulation. If you don't start with the SMG in your hands, it's hard to find. Unless you have a specific weapon set, which is human weapon set. It's the only one we found that has the SMG on it, in which case you can't have the sword at all.
Yeah.
So, no fun. Because we have to start with plasma pistols in our hand and no secondary weapon in order to do for the cameraman to do his no HUD trick.
Right.
Lots of fun. And how many times a day do I forget to start with human weapons on?
Every single time.
It's every time.
Yeah.
And if
so
Sheila,
and we don't remember it until you get like everybody set up but Griff and Simmons.
Yep.
And it's like an extra 30 minutes.
And in my defense, no one ever asks as soon as we start the scene, did you do human weapons? The other thing we always forget is Sheila. You have to specifically specify to add Sheila into the map. And half the time we'll go, okay, somebody go get Sheila. It's like, well, let's restart.
It's not gonna be any fun. I'm gonna go take a vitamin. Oh, don't bother. It's too late for you anyway. We need to start thinking about me. Tell you what, send me in.
Always you should use the lens flare. Always. We could add the lens flare in about 2 seconds in After Effects, and yet we'll still, find a shot where we can get the lens flare.
I don't know who did that awesome caboose pan, but I suspect it was me.
Is that the sound it made?
That's the sound I make when I do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do it again? Let me get it. Pretty good.
I gotta give kudos to two of our supporting characters. They're in this scene. One is Sheila and one is Andy. They started their characters, like first line all the way through, that their characters have been consistent and like exactly the same. Like they had their characters developed like from the very first line they read.
Probably the only two actors / characters
like the
we could
George
say that about.
Costanza, Red versus Blue.
Who do you think is like the most different now from when they first started?
Caboose.
I would probably say Doc.
I would say Doc.
I would say Doc.
Doc is really different.
Go back. You listen to the first episode of season 2. Doc is like.
But Doc,
it's like Matt.
I think they both make sense. The change. I mean, Doc to me, the change makes sense because I think he had to shift for O'Malley. We're all looking around to see where the ringing phone is.
I love this. This is actually our phone in our office that rings like this. And every time we worked on the scene, including when we put it together for the DVD, everyone would scream for somebody to answer the phone.
I would get so mad.
Yeah, Gus came in here several times saying, "Is someone going to get the goddamn phone?"
We should just get a different phone ringing sound.
Let's get your
buy one for $1 or something, just so we don't have to be confused all the time.
I'm going to make this sound my startup sound on the computer. Not that any of you ever hear when I start up my computer.
I don't know what that means.
It means you're late.
I don't know. You're looking at it. I'm here. Crack of dawn, buddy.
Directing episodes, apparently.
That's right.
When I'm doing nothing. when I'm in town eating sandwiches or whatever. I think Church is
pretty consistent.
Not as angry though. He's kind of wimpier than he first started out as. Tucker's really different, I think. Simmons is more manic. Griff is even lazier. That's probably Griff's pretty consistent.
Hell yeah,
Griff's consistent.
I think really the most inconsistent characters are all mine.
Sarge
is a lot different.
Sarge is different from this very first reading, but he found himself pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sarge, the original Sarge voice, I think was just too hard to do. To keep doing.
He had a personal journey and he found himself.
What was the original voice?
Well, it was a little bit flatter, like a little bit more nasal and more like an R. Lee Ermey impersonation.
Yeah.
And wasn't nearly as gruff as it is now.
Can you try to do it now?
I can't. I don't think it would sound right.
Did you re-record your lines from episode 2 when we redid the DVD?
No. And people still ask. It's a lot slower too. People still ask, who did Sarge in season 1.
Well, when you talk about the speed of it, I mean, if you go back and look, like episode 2, right, of season 1, if you go back and watch that episode, it's like a minute and a half, and it probably would last about 45 seconds the way we cut now, and how fast we try to move things now. Within an episode, like line to line. Like now our dialogue moves like bang, bang, bang right on top of each other the way it's edited. And before we had a lot more pauses and it was longer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For I think there was a lot of wasted space really in some of the stuff. Try it. Try to do the voice. Come on.
What's my long line with the?
See these two toe hooks?
No, the one with the parade.
They look like tusks. Oh,
That's exactly right. Simmons here's in charge of confetti.
yeah.
Dude,
more
yeah,
like
that's
that.
it. That's very
That's it.
different. Now do Sarge saying it.
That's exactly right, meathead. Simmons here's in charge of confetti.
Sounds the same.
God damn, dude, that's
No.
pretty awesome.
It's like
Very
90
That's
days.
the same?
That doesn't sound anything
Sounds
alike.
the same to me.
Yeah.
I did actually that first one. It's like, I mean, you walked me through like those first couple episodes. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we did a bunch of takes over and over again, and I don't think I could like keep finding that voice on a regular basis if I didn't like take a very long time to do each line. So it was more just a matter of practicality than anything else. Switching the voice.
Matt actually's our most talented voice guy, I would say. I mean, that's bar none. I mean,
Absolutely.
And he has one voice he does for Panics. He plays Bravo 3 in Panics. And you can only do that voice at like 8 in the morning.
Yeah, or earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets up, can't drink any coffee or anything. He has to come in and do that voice. Like that. It's a really low, deep voice.
You're our most talented director.
Thanks.
Aw.
See? It's give and take over here. Nothing but love.
Who's the most talented
You two
kiss
fucking
ass?
cold pricklies over there going after each other.
Group hug.
Oh, see, this is the reverse of the lighting thing. We made O'Malley darker.
Yeah, that was a different episode.
What?
No.
What? That's him.
Yeah, I know. We did that one episode. We did the light dark juxtaposition thing.
Yeah, like dark juxtaposition.
And then we did that.
You keep using that word.
Juxtaposition.
You picked
It's
that up.
it's my challenge.
And
My
composition.
challenge.
I like it.
It's my things like that there.
You're expanding your vocabulary. I'm only going to use words I find on Wikipedia from now on. If the word turns out to be like wrong or I'm using it correctly, I just change it to match what I think. Or Urban Dictionary.
There you go.
Dustin and I changed
A
yours.
moving
cool
shot.
shot.
Nat, are you impressed? Look at
Cool
that.
shot. Look great.
I did that. I channeled Matt for that moving shot. Here's the number one reason why we don't use the pistol that often, except for characters like Doc and Caboose,
Big butt.
is they call the big butt stance, where they stick their butt out and they kind of lean forward, which kind of looks goofy for Caboose and for Doc.
But his name is Caboose.
There you go. It's the Caboose
Damn.
stance. Nice.
That's a good point. Where were you at the start of Halo 2, buddy?
I don't know.
Who was up there for the first? You were there.
He was there.
I was there.
You were there in Seattle.
It was you three, Matt, Bernie, and Jason.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. That's probably like the
That's
We
true.
know all their names.
That's right.
proudest moment of my life.
Well, the thing about it is the people that are listening to this, they can't see who I point to.
They can't see this?
No, they only hear.
Why would
So,
they do that?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm taking my pants off.
I wore my shirt today and everything.
Your shirts.
Isn't it shirtless Friday? What happened to that rule?
Pants aren't working.
Just back in on Fire Day. That's what it is.
Whoa. Flamin'.
So what is? But when we do characters, like we go to get into character, like everybody kind of has a line that they say. Like I know you always say when you say for
See,
Sarge.
there's two toe hooks.
Yeah.
I always say that, which is strange because
Right.
now I say it in the new voice, but I used to say it. It doesn't make any. There's no reason for me to say it, and now I often say Simmons a lot.
Yeah.
And
And that's how you like
Perfect.
find the voice. I don't know what do you do for your character?
I don't. No, I don't do any. I don't do that at all. I just do my fucking lines.
he doesn't. I mean, Griff is your voice, though, right? I
You
mean, you
don't
don't
wanna-
really
I-
alter your voice at all.
I don't. Yeah, I guess he's my voice.
I
He
say-
sounds different to me.
I say, are you fucking recording yet? Can we get this over with?
That's
Yeah.
Gus does say that every time.
I think it's why Gus was so good in this season is because most of the lines were angry, and that's Gus to a T.
I remember, like in season 1, we'd always say, like for you, whenever you're angry, we just have you add jackass to the end of your
I think
line.
actually, you had me had dumbass.
Dumbass,
to the
and then
end
we
of the
cut
line.
it off. We just have the line, but cut off the dumbass, and you always sounded so angry. And we cut off the dumbass. What do I say?
I
when
would
I'm
tell
going
you that
there
my
for
dog
church?
just pissed on your cable.
I know for Vic, I always say, "Hey, dude, hey."
Yeah.
You just blowing my ear right now.
And then,
No, I didn't.
oh, I know what I
You
say
want
for
me to?
church all the time. I go, "Oh my god." That's what I always say when I go for church.
I
I used to do the rookie line from season 1, which is rookie.
I always hear Matt say, "You foolish fools" when he does O'Malley.
Yeah, you foolish fools.
Yeah.
Yeah. O'Malley changed a good bit too. O'Malley changed a good bit too. Originally, O'Malley, I remember thinking was like Starscream crossed with Megatron, kind of, you know?
Oh my
It's a lot more.
Dude, I actually heard someone say it's for the first time. Someone say, "Why does O'Malley sound like Megatron?" And that
Yeah,
he
he's-
never put the Megatron.
Megatron, and I think now he's more like Megatron and Krusty the Clown, or Megatron and what was the guy from Frasier? What was his character in this?
Niles?
No.
Sideshow Bob.
Oh.
He's kind of got some Sideshow Bob in him.
Certainly more than Krusty the Clown.
Well, he does the, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
Who is Simmons, Gus?
Simmons is me.
Principal Skinner.
Pretty much.
Gus?
Principal Skinner. Is
Simmons would be Superintendent Chalmers.
was Griff Nelson?
No.
Who would Griff be?
Simmons has definitely developed into like the angry nerd character by this point. Like, you've given up trying to prove you're smart, and you're just gonna like, this is Gus. Like, I'm just smarter than you, and I hate you because of it.
I know I hate you because you're not as smart as me.
Same thing.
Yeah,
Isn't
totally
it the
different.
same thing?
Totally different.
See, we don't even understand it. I hate us. And then Tucker was.
What?
You were pretty much always the ladies' man kind of guy. You had the Voltron line way early on.
I did.
And that kind of established that. It's like, I guess everybody had like one or two lines that kind of like established who they were early on, and we just ran with it from there. You know, Church's first thing he ever says to Tucker is he hates him, basically. Griff is lazy from Sergeant Griff established a relationship pretty early. Your relationship was, it's funny because the relationship between Simmons and Sarge now I actually think is being stronger, but it's actually more of an offshoot of the relationship between Griff and Sarge. Like Simmons really is only the second in command because Sarge hates Griff. I mean, really, if you think about it, the way the story worked when it got set up. But it's now it's like, but now the relationship between Simmons and Sarge is such a big part of this season. Just so it shows like I guess how far we've come from all that stuff, you know. I mean, I don't think we sat down to first write this thing, we thought, well, we got to have a character that's like Sarge's right hand man. You just kind of evolved out of that, of like Sarge having this guy that he hates, which is Griff. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I win by default.
You win by default, right? Donut probably has changed. The most, right? I mean, we knew we were gonna get him the light red armor, but he's kind of got off the like Mr. Imaginative and frilly or all the silly stuff that he does is like definitely way outside the realm of where he started.
Yeah.
And Caboose is like, I guess, brain dead by this point. So.
Lopez is pretty different.
Lopez
He
is
lost
dead.
his body.
Because he wasn't supposed to talk, right? That was his whole gimmick to be. He never spoke.
That lasted till episode 15?
16, I think.
16?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't 15, it was 16.
Well, I needed more lines. That's the other thing we always say we're never going to do again is...
Give Barney another character?
Give me any more Spanish lines. And this time we actually had Vic with Spanish lines, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever recorded in that booth.
Was that hard to do? Because I remember doing O'Malley speaking Spanish at the end of season 3. It was like, for some reason, that was like the hardest lines I've ever had to do.
Yeah. And you can sing in your character's voice, which is really funny.
But not in Spanish.
Couldn't sing La Bamba?
What about La Bamba?
La Cucaracha?
What about La Bamba? Do it.
We'd have the rights.
That's Sarge.
That's true. See, it
Sing
is
some,
hard. So hard I messed up. I got picked the wrong character.
Sing some nice copyright-free music for us. Public domain.
Sing Happy Birthday.
I think the Beatles on that.
Do they?
Actually, a little bit of real-life channeling in some of the writing here, because Gus is our tech guy. Yeah, nice time.
I love that. I love Spanish Vic.
Gus and Jason, do you want to protest the Spanish Vic with the mustache?
Yeah, that's
No.
At least he doesn't have a sombrero.
I almost put a sombrero on.
Wait till
I
season
was
5.
really close.
Yeah, we were gonna put a sombrero on Andy the Bomb when he's translating. But Gus is the tech guy here, and he's like the network guy. So he's the one that creates all the passwords for everything, and he always makes these passwords that none of us can freaking remember because they're like slashes and dots. And
then I get mad at you for not remembering them.
Yeah, because you don't write them down. Go figure.
I write them down for me. You don't write them down for you.
What's that mean? What does that mean?
You know what you should
Dude, you're not smart enough.
It's your responsibility to hold on to your password, mister.
We lost the password to the main file server, and which is where we upload all of our videos. And I went to Gus and said, "Hey Gus, I lost my FTP program, so I lost my password. I can't find it in my mail. Can you just give it to me?" He goes, I don't have that.
Well, that one I don't have.
I said, why don't you have it? Right. And what was your answer?
I never had it to begin with.
No, your answer was, I never use it. That was your answer. I never had it to begin with. How do you not have it?
I never use it is the excuse I give for other accounts I make for you.
You never use your desk for work, but you have that.
I use my desk for WoW.
This is reshot. This is an added scene. This is one of the black jokes that we made. That sounds terrible the way I said
You
it.
should make black jokes, Bernie.
But that was one of the jokes in the black. And we added in. This section is directed by Matt, correct?
I don't know what episode this is.
I think this is your episode. Yes.
Yeah.
I was on vacation. Yeah.
And up here is one. Well, I guess maybe we already passed it.
Nice shot.
I
like that.
My Achilles heel in directing Red vs. Blue episodes for some reason is to leave a character in the background on at least one shot.
Everyone has something they do wrong
all the time.
All the time.
Been doing it since early on in season 2 somewhere. I can't remember now when we had the infamous Cecil.
Cecil. Yeah.
What do you think yours is?
Well,
yours is leaving out lines when you do
Dude,
selects.
that is absolutely mine. I will, when we record dialogue with people, I will miss a line.
You left lines out of this one.
Yeah, you did.
And we cut it.
And I always cut characters on the wrong one. Like I'll cut Sarge.
I would say your problem if we're nitpicking here, besides being horrifically ugly, and I just stare at you all the time while we do this stuff.
What this is, yeah.
Your biggest problem is when we go to do a scene, you have no sense of geography. I mean, like the left and right thing is a joke we always make, but like when we're setting up characters, like eye lines, like you'll never get the eye line right the first time. You're like, am I looking over here? It's like, no, that's looking in the exact opposite direction. Look over here. You know, like when we get to set the camera up and stuff like that. That would be your biggest problem.
So my problem is I have a poor director that gives poor directions?
No, your problem is like when your initial instincts are all wrong.
Well, it's because you say stuff like, go stand over there. And you nod with your head to the computer screen.
Or I'll say,
what the fuck?
I'll set up the camera, and we'll have the camera view on the screen, and I'll go, so go set up your characters here, and I'll point to where the camera is looking. And he'll set up all the characters, but they'll all be facing away from the camera. And I'll go, now, why would we ever want to have a shot where everyone is facing away from the camera? And you go, oh, good point. You turn around one of the characters, or something like that.
You're just making stuff up.
Listen. This is constructive criticism. You should take this and build.
I'd like you to try and film an episode that you're directing and try to understand your directions.
The best ever was when we were cutting lines and I was cutting my own lines while reading them, and you were ready to kill me with that. That's kind of hard to explain, but
yeah,
we record our dialogue like in one line chunks, but we read the line like 5 or 6 times, and I was like, I read like 6 lines from church, and I said, okay, take the beginning of the 5th line and the second part from the 3rd line. And I did that like 10 times, and you just finally gave up. And when I came out, the paper said, fuck you, Bernie.
Yeah, that probably makes absolutely no sense to the people listening to this. But
we laughed, though, so that's what's important.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, Bernie. So everybody's
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Universal hatred of the guys you work with.
Matt, got any good questions in the forum?
Man, I'm looking.
What's wrong with
I
you?
want you to notice how many times when I've stopped talking, it's been, hey, let's see if there's any questions in the forum.
Well, somebody's got to fill in with something. These 2 knuckleheads are asleep.
It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad.
It is. Whatever you're saying is sad. Is sad.
Guess that's somewhere to be 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up soon, right?
We only got episode and a half left. Now, this season went pretty fast. I think we actually thought we were going to end this season back in, like, January.
Yeah.
Originally. And even though it's gone on, obviously a lot longer than we thought it would, it feels like we just finished season 3, like, 2 weeks ago.
Does it?
Maybe because you don't work on Red vs. Blue. But for Bernie and I think it feels a little longer.
Well, it's weird. It's weird you say that because it's like I don't have... Like, it does feel like all the episodes have flown by in the sense that we're going to go watch them. It's like, wow. It's like, that seems like, it's almost like, I don't know. It's a weird feeling because it's like the seasons just fly by. I mean, we've done 4 seasons now in 3 years, Mm-hmm. That's, it's a lot, not including all the PSAs and everything, so. They just tend to fly by. If anything, it's like hard to like not have them, be all said and done after just 6 months.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people wondering what happened to Tex at the end of the season.
Hey, you know what's coming up? The hardest shot of the season.
What
The
shot?
one that you and I took 60 takes to do.
Oh man!
In this episode, it is an easy shot, but it is for some reason. No, it's not.
And I got the call about that. Why did you put this shot? I didn't write
that.
anything about a goddamn zoom or anything like that.
No,
but it
The
worked
script
out.
says
It was my fault.
Caboose turns around, and you got to turn. Although you did very well with this because like
This is actually 2 Sarges. There was one who
Yeah,
goes
Gus
back
plays
and
the
then
first
one.
one, and I.
No, I thought I played both of them.
Oh, did you? Yeah, you
Yeah.
played both of them, and I was doing Caboose.
So as soon as Sarge 1 went behind the rock, I had to put that controller down and pick up the other controller and run out with the other Sarge.
Things like that. You can only do things like that in Hollywood if you hire the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
Actually, so
I
one of the benefits of using Halo.
I gotta say, like writing wise, this is
This-
the one I had the most fun writing. Was
That's
This shot, I was really happy about this, and like I don't think anybody noticed it whatsoever.
But that's good, right?
And except Bernie, when he came back, I said, what, how did that shot? How do you think that turned out? And he goes, well, the lighting wasn't on the guy, so it was okay.
that's not what I said.
That is what you said.
I did make the comment that the light. He's talking about the shot there of
I don't know.
Andy. Andy can't be in a scene with more than like a few different colors, and Matt composited it in an Andy complete with the glow, and so I made the comment that I did notice it. I remember I noticed it because I noticed the glow wasn't on the guys, and that's how I noticed it. Like I was just letting Matt know that I definitely noticed his work.
That it was bad.
Not that it was.
There was nothing positive in what you said, and then Matt got defensive, and then you complimented him.
That's not true.
That is absolutely true.
That's
Cheers for sure.
absolutely not true. And you know why? I'm not gonna listen to you because you haven't
It wasn't
complimented
even
me
the
all this
glow
entire
that-
audio content.
Fucking time.
It wasn't even the glow that was the part I was happy about. It was the camera move.
Yeah, that you tracked up with it. Yeah.
I thought that turned out
I'm
pretty
happy
nice.
about that.
Here we
now.
go.
It did, but the guys weren't lit very well.
This is the hard. This is the
This shot?
This shot right here.
60 takes. It looks so simple.
It was the
What
problem
shot?
is
The zoom?
the one
The
that was
zoom.
on Caboose. The problem was that it was
He
he
had
was
to zoom and go
crouched.
up.
He was
He was
crouched,
crouched.
moving downhill, and then zooming up.
Not in the script, by the way.
Not in the script, and it worked out fantastic.
Why didn't you just shoot it backwards in the reverse footage?
We did try that one time.
Yeah, it didn't
work
well
for some
with that
reason.
shot. But
work.
we shot it for about 2 hours, and then quit, finished the rest of the episode, and came back the next day.
Yeah.
We were so frustrated.
Last episode of the season, which this is the beginning of right here, episode 77, is always the hardest episode writing-wise to do. This one has no less than, 3 cliffhangers. 4 if you include where the hell is Tex.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But speaking of difficult stuff too, we were there were some controllers thrown during
I remember
all this
that.
stuff right here.
Yeah.
What's that?
It was
This was done. This
very
was
difficult.
1 in the morning, though. Yeah, that we were doing this scene in particular. We actually did this scene last in this episode.
Because we
did
thought
the-
it would be the easiest.
We thought it would be the easiest, which is Blues talking to each other, and we did all the action stuff, including the ship.
Yeah.
We did that stuff first, and came back and did this. And let me put it this way: it's a very small room, and there's lots of guns to pick up by accident by the cameraman. And with the lighting trick and everything else we were doing, it was
And that in this episode,
hard.
we for some reason, Doc with the plasma pistol didn't want to stay lit. You remember that?
he would unlight. Yeah.
He would unlight for no reason.
Yeah. There is a weird thing with the lighting trick where if you're close to the person, even if you're not looking at them, you're close to them when they cross over from light to dark.
doesn't work, yeah.
They go dark, and so, it's and there's lots of little tweaks to it, like when we make adjustments and stuff.
But I remember we were very close. We spent about an hour and a half doing 5 or 6 shots here, and we decided that we were going to have to move the scene to a different location.
I remember I stopped and I said, let's take a break.
We took a 20-minute break and came back, and then we knocked it out.
Actually, I said 30-minute break, and then we were only going for like 4 minutes, and came back, and we just pounded them all out right away.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Needed a break.
This was fun though, because this was the first episode in a long time that I've been up to like 4 in the morning doing, since we moved into the office. And
Why did we do that?
move into the office?
You had to leave the next morning or something? Was that it? Or?
No, it was, we wanted to put
we
out
just need to
April
get
1st
it out.
for the
Oh,
birthday,
yeah.
for the birthday release. And I just got going like late that night. Jason, you were till like 2 in that morning.
Yeah, I was
working on stuff.
Stranger Things stuff.
He's working on Stranger Things stuff. But
That's a funny shot.
Yeah, it is.
oh, I'm just gonna talk about writing. The last episode of the season always, and like this one in particular, this is a 12-page script that we finalized on?
Yeah,
Was
or
it?
16.
16.
12
Was it?
pages.
Didn't it, I thought it got cut way down.
It was
No,
12.
it was 18 originally. It cut it down to 12. That's what it was. So
And there was all the confusion about how to get Donut into the place he was going to be in for the last shot.
yeah,
In terms of cutting it down.
yeah. This joke right here, by the way, this is another joke that was a holdover joke forever that I was waiting for a place to use with the is the tank getting closer?
Right.
You know, and I mean, this was like a lot of jokes are like that. Like I think of them like I have no context for them at all, but just think of them in some place and think, oh, I'll come back and use it. And sometimes I build an episode around it. Like episode 2 was that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a freeform joke about naming the warthog and calling it a puma, and then just build an entire episode around that one joke. And this joke here is getting closer. Of course, it's getting closer. Look, at getting bigger. No, it's not. And then the tank shell goes off right next to him. Simmons shows nerves of steel in this episode.
Yes, he does.
Tank shells go off.
Tough dude. He doesn't
Ships
care.
land on people. He's like, hey, he's Mr.
He's a
Information.
rock.
This solidifies our theme of having a battle at the end of every season.
Gus just walked in with a big box. What is that,
Bingo
Gus?
box. Who's that from?
Oh, awesome.
Oh, cool.
That's we just got our capture card for season 5.
There
It's
you
called
go.
Dick Link.
And I brought it in. It's addressed to me, actually.
Which is
So it's
ironic.
mine.
'Cause that's the most work you'll probably do on season 5.
Hey, that is my work for season 5.
Good.
I'm done.
So he's already more productive than season 4.
That means I can cut him one check right now.
Hey, I've done way more work in season 5 than you guys have. Look at that.
So season 5 will start when? For people watching this commentary, right after.
July.
Probably, yeah. I'd say it's July.
July.
Are we?
Let's not make any
What's the convention? Are we
promises.
going to a convention right now?
I'm sure we are.
We'll probably try
We
to
go
time
to,
it
we go to
with,
like 3 conventions a month or so.
I love this shot with
Yeah.
the 3 guys, the 3 heads.
That was a lot of fun to film.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like
like the
we
whispers.
discovered this location when we did the Xbox 360 Marketplace video.
Right. But this is one where you wouldn't think, but this is also one way to use a lighting trick, even though it's outside, because they're in shadow, and that made it kind of difficult.
Yes, yeah, sort of. They're like in a yellowish light there, which changed some of the colors. Also, that's zoomed in, and it's another example of like the location they're in is nowhere near where Church is.
Right.
Like Church is looking at a big rock, and they're like way off to the left, over by the cliff.
Yeah, it's not. It's nowhere near where they were the last shot either.
No. And you know, if you look at it, you can kind of tell that, but it's like they also, you know, think of them moving into the position to yell at Church or whatever. And this definitely I try to avoid like this kind of humor all the time, like the Blues and the Reds yelling at each other, but I just love these scenes of the Blue and the Reds yelling at each other. If we did it every episode, it would get old, but it's a lot of fun. It's definitely like the season 1 humor of like, you know, hey Blues, suck it, that kind of stuff, you know. And I'd love to do it every episode. Man, it would get old fast.
I think all the actors think everybody naturally gets into their lines more too when they can yell. Like it just gets your energy up, you know?
Yeah.
It just comes out funnier.
That line is, we had to go back and re-record it. When we released that episode online, Nathan, who plays Andy the Bomb, was out of town at a film festival. He's also a filmmaker, and he was in Orlando, right?
Yep.
So we had to catch him on the phone and then re-record the dialogue once he came back in town. And we actually changed the interpretation of the line. In the episode online, it is, I am shot! And here it's more like just a bad acting, kind of like trying to cover his tracks. I like that one better. A little foreshadowing there.
Oh.
That was your big moment, Jason.
Yeah.
Conveniently off screen.
Your other big moment.
Big moment cries.
I think someone emailed saying that we should nickname the alien baby Triceratops.
We're not going to, though.
No, we're not. Surprisingly. Yeah. We can't take that gem.
And here's the big composited pelican shot coming up.
Now, you want to tell us how you did that? While you go into the credits here?
Well, I can't take credit for doing the ship.
Yeah.
The ship itself was made by Paul Marino. He's done a bunch of work for us in the past on Strangerhood, and I think has he done some other Red vs. Blue stuff? I can't remember now.
Yeah, he's well, Paul's first of all the guy who runs the Academy of Machinima.
He did a fantastic job on this shot.
Yeah, that's great,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Built a
And then,
Pelican.
well, Matt was he did great. I mean, he built that thing so fast,
Yeah.
and became the first one in like we said, can you punch the texture up a little bit, and it came back, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know?
And he just sent it over, and, you know, we worked on putting the shadows in on top of Donut and on the ground, and adding the shake and the dust and all the little rocks and things that make it look like it's all together and like it actually might have come out of the game.
That is actually probably the thing that most people analyzing the shot online that I've seen have said is that the shake and the dust is what it's got to be in game. And how do they get the pelican and stuff like that? Yeah. Just to clarify though,
it's not in game. That ship is just. It's actually we didn't even have time to build the entire ship. It's just that section that you're seeing on screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's no more of it. You know, it's just that small piece of the hull, and then we just composited in, added smoke and dust and debris and After Effects, and added the camera shake in After Effects too, and the shadows. So
good job, man.
And then the season was over.
Matt.
Well, actually, we had the last line was the subject of a rare disagreement.
Oh please, a rare fight.
Well, the last line is a reference. Should it be a complete reference or not? Was the disagreement.
And your take was that it should.
Well, Griff says shotgun.
Shotgun.
And Matt thinks it should be.
I thought it should just harken back to episode 2, which is shotgun fuck.
And so we didn't. Yeah, we talked about it for a long time. We added in the shotgun and then Simmons saying shotgun fuck, but the line of Simmons saying ships here and then Griff saying shotgun is kind of like at the referential without being like a direct a direct overt reference, I guess. You know, kind of the same feeling. But
there you have it.
That's it. Season 4. I keep saying we talk about season 5 so much. I keep wanting to say season 5, but thank you very much for watching. Thank you for.
Oh man, why did we put his name in the credits?
They haven't actually rendered the credits yet, so we don't know who he's talking about.
They're still running at this point.
We had to thank Union Pacific for providing a train.
That's the first train to this whole company.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Second train.
It's the first time we bitched about it.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hope that you will watch season 5.
Yeah.
Woo!
There you go.
Yay.
Bye bye.
I gotta go.